Alrighty. I hope this is recording because I'm not doing another take. I don't give a fuck. I'm sitting here kind of a little bit tired of shit. But I said I'd make this video, so here we are. A lot of people have been randomly asking me in power scaling server that I'm a part of, like, how do you win debates? How do you become good? How do you, like, should I be scaling a certain verse? Should I, like, be using separate arguments? Should I be listening to more debates? Should I model myself after other people? And, like, at the end of the day, this is for fun most of the time. Like, so you can kind of get away with a lot of stuff in power scaling debates because a lot of people don't actually know how to debate formally. So this is just like an easy 5 arguments to win a power scaling debate if you can't power scale. Obviously, by your boy Tig of the Titan. Who is this for? Is like who needs this? Who is the person that needs this? If you are hard stuck bronze, right, in debating, bro, like this is probably for you. You just started power scaling, bro. Like let's just give like a scenario. You just started power scaling because you watched a Seth the Pro Groomer fucking video for like the first time, and now you're like thinking to yourself, man, I really want to get into power scaling comm. Like you first joined a debate, and you're like, you think you know a little bit. Like you watch a couple of Seth videos, so you can scale Goku to like kind of planetary. You think you join your first debate or whatever, and you're like, okay, I can't wait to learn to debate. And then someone hits you with the philobabble of doom, and you're just lost in the sauce within like the first 5 seconds. All right, this is for you. Second, you keep running into philobabblers. C point A, right? 3, you don't give a fuck about actually debating. You just want to win. Now, this is low-key kind of funny, and I've always been a proponent of like, yeah, might as well, right? Like, if you're doing a sport, you want to win at it or whatever, right? So this is your hobby. You want to be good at it. Why not? If you just want to win, you just want to ball, like, fuck it, we ball. Like, you're not going to become, like, high tier, but you're not going to be shitter, though, either. So, why not? You refuse to click on a server phone power scaling 101 video because if you know, you know. And that one should just go without saying. You are genuinely too busy to actually scale. Like, so, like, you work 10-hour days or whatever, or you're in school studying for your ACTs, like you're trying to actually do something with your life, but you want to actually have fun, a little bit of fun here and there with your hobbies or whatever. This is perfect for you. You're not going to actually like really be doing very much deep diving or whatever. All this is really is for debaters. All this is going to be, I swear to God, is just bullshit. You just easy bullshit that literally is gonna get you to at least a win, or at best a win, or at worst a stalemate. Like that's basically it. Just use these tips and tricks, and you could be like webcam parrot like pretty soon. All right. What's the first thing that first argument? Like, what's friendship tech? Now, friendship tech is low-key one of the most OP things in the debate comm. All right, Jade, Leon, Ista, and Sage did it back in the day or whatever, right? Infinity, Careless, Mono, those guys do it today, right? Trinity's friend group did it back in the day. I mean, like, everybody kind of does it or whatnot, right? If your friends are just good at debating, you will automatically get the rep that you're somewhat good at debating, okay? But here are some ways that you can use your friends in a debate or whatever just to win, right? Literally just get your friends to argue with the judge. That's so easy, bro. Dude, if you go into a debate or whatever, right, and you have someone arguing for you, it's the best feeling in the world, bro. If someone starts arguing for you on why you won or whatever, right, and they're low-key cooking the judge, it's looking bad, bro. It's looking bad for the other person. Like, I've had that happen to me numerous of times where it's just like, dude, like half the time it won't even be people that I'm like hella cool with. People will just hop in and be like, yo, you won or whatever, like so and so, this point. That's when you're on, like, you know that you're just there, bro. You just reached the level of aura or whatever, right? But here's the best part. Just get your friends to argue with the judge no matter what. It doesn't even matter if you win. You could low-key be getting like beat up on like 5 points, bro. On like 5 points consecutively, point by point by point by point, or whatever, right? Damn near almost conceding. And your friend's gonna hop in there and just debate goon the judge. If you just dog pound the judge is gonna switch. Because the judge is not gonna want to listen to 5 different people just hounding him and telling him that he's just wrong or whatever, right? Most people just don't have the freaking patience for it. And they're just like concede or backpedal and just like, there you go, there's your free win. Another like tactic or whatever, just have your friends just talk shit about the opponent throughout the whole entire debate, bro. Always in gen chat, just pinging them. Just ping them, always at them, be like, bro, you sound fucking stupid. Bro, this argument is dumb. This argument is trash. He's not tracking. Stutter. Lol. Why does he sound like a school bus driver that hasn't taken a bath in 7 days? Just say whatever the hell comes to your mind, bro. It's literally like so easy just to make people infuriated, bro. For one, right, rhetorically, it just looks bad if this dude is getting clowned on by like 7 different people in the gen chat. For two, right, you literally doing this is also distracting him, bro. It's going to take away some of that confidence, too, because he, like, trust me, if he's just not, like, purebred, like, ready for this stuff, like, if he's not, like a rhetoric demon or whatever, right? Where he like literally nothing phases him. You're slamming him, bro, because you're just gonna be sitting there distracting them the whole entire time. Like, why is this dude on my dick for this whole entire debate, bro? They're gonna comment on it. They're gonna be distracted, bro. And then all you really have to do to get the rhetorical like upper hand and be like, bro, please just ignore the chat and just like stay on topic, bro. Like, it's not my fault that you sound like a fucking like McDonald's worker that has hygiene problems, right? You are literally now in control because this man is getting infuriated by your friends in chat, bro. 3, right? Pull up with the squad, right? If you pull up with like 7 deep of people, guess what? 7 deep of people in a 14-man VC, because you're not getting 100 100-man VCs anymore in the debate comm. You are gonna win the debate. Guess what? You just won because 7 people are automatically voting for you. It doesn't even matter if you like are literally getting dog pounded, bro. They're just gonna vote for you just to vote for you, especially if it's people that they don't like as well. Like, let's say like Apollo, like, right, easy enough. That dude's getting shut down, right? Even people like annoying like Careless or D1 or whatever, where you have the whole VC clowning them, like you're just gonna win the debate by default because rhetorically people are just gonna be like, yeah, it's fine or whatever. They're gonna sit there and have their cope session where they're like, dude, half these people don't have like a cognitive brain, but it's fine or whatever, right? They could be slugs. They're still saying that you lost, bro. And if the whole chat's saying it, bro, just get screenshots of the chat saying that he lost or whatever, right? Post that shit. Doesn't even matter the context or whatever. You're going to be getting your butt beat for like 50 minutes, bro. Post the screenshots. Nobody even watches 50-minute debates anymore. So, like, what's the point? This kind of goes hand in hand. The fact that you have multiple friends in the chat literally help boost your rhetoric. You will have multiple vouches that you won. That's basically the same thing with pull up with the squad. You're dead ass already having vouches for these arguments. These are just so simplistic. It's so stupid. Like, at this point or whatever, right? If you pull up 20 man deep or whatever, you have home court advantage, bro. And nobody's ever going to root against the home team. If you have like 5 people like arguing for you, hell, half of them will argue arguments that you didn't even make. And they'll just be like, they're implicit. Like, they're just like on turn up. Like, obviously, like, we should know that this is what he meant when he said this or whatever. It's just implied arguments or whatever the fuck, right? And then this is like a king tech, bro. Just have your friend judge. Careless does this with Mono all the time, and I think it's funny as shit. Just FYI, if you're debating Careless and you have Mono as a judge, you lost. Like, you just lost. Like, I don't know why you're sitting here thinking that this is going to be a debate. You just lost. But the fact that you have your friend as a judge or whatever, right? Now, this is the uber top secret way to do this, bro. Don't have him on your friends list. Just remove him from your friends list for like the day or whatever, right? Let's say you know that you're going to debate person that day. You take that man off your friends list, bro. You say, hey, I'm taking you off the friends list for this debate. I'm going to have you judge. And then if they start claiming that there's bias, it's like, bro, this dude's not even on my friends list. How are we friends? And it just looks grips from there because most people just have their friends as friends on Discord. Super simple, easy. Now you don't even have to argue. You can just argue the sky is like purple or whatever the hell, and you would probably win, right? You are all hyping each other up. Will have a web down effect of friends, etc. What do I mean by this? All right. Let's look at this web. All right. This circle right here, that's your friend group or whatever, right? But your friend group has friends of friends, right? Your friends obviously have other friends, right? So it extends out here. Well, guess what? Those people have friends of friends. They also extend out here or whatever, right? And it keeps going in a circle, in a circle, in a circle, outward, outward, outward. You just add layers upon layers upon layers upon layers until at one point you're just considered good. This is so simplistic. Everybody's been doing this since back in the day. This is the main reason why friendship tech is OP in the debate comp. Why actually be good at debating when you can just have your friends hype you up? No hate to the boy, because I fuck with Villain. Villain, right? Name me 5 villain debates. But everybody, I swear to God, at one point had him at top tier. Name me 5 villain debates, bro. Name me 5. Same with Troy. Name me 5 Troy debates, bro. Name me 5 Troy debates. It's like, these people are heralded as good, but they don't have the accolades to back them up. Now, here's the thing with that, though. Don't think that they're dumbasses, because yes, sometimes they're dumbasses, sometimes they're not. Most of these people are actually pretty good because they're actually able to have conversations with other people or whatnot and be socially acceptable. And that is really the first step of being a good debater, is being socially acceptable. If you are not, if you're just acting like a pedantic ass, no one's gonna like you, and so you're not gonna win any debates, right? I'm looking at you, Simon. There is other, so with this being said, the reason for why that this is particularly good is that at this point you became, if you've already crushed a couple of mid tiers or whatever, right? If you start beating up a couple of mid tiers, you don't even have to debate anymore. Now you just have the lore. You have the lore, you have some accolades that at least go to that lore, and now you're just set. You don't even have to debate anymore. Half these people don't have crazy amount of debate feats and stuff like that. It just debated a couple of people, made it super long, like a 2-hour debate or whatever. It could have been 2 hours of them getting their ass whooped. It could have been 2 hours of them whooping ass. Who knows? But at the end of the day, they're considered good because they had a 2-hour debate with someone who's considered good in the comm now. And then they had their friends propaganda the fact that they're good. It's very simple. Everybody's been doing this since the day of the dawn of time, bro. Anyone who says this is not real in debate comp, die. Maybe back in the day when nobody really knew each other and everybody was kind of just debating each other just for clout, just for Seth clout or parrot clout or whatever the hell you want to call it. Maybe at that point in time it was a little bit different, but now for sure this is exactly the tech, bro. It's exactly the tech. So after this, maybe you don't have friends. Maybe you're a loser, right? Maybe you suck. Maybe you're very trash and you are the bottom of the pecking order. What could I possibly do? All right. Boom. Rules lawyering, right? I gave a simple way for this to fucking work, right? Obviously, this is to make fun of a syllogism or whatever, right? And I'm going to continue to make fun of syllogisms in this recording. But P1, as for a set of rules at the start of the debate, and they will literally give none. 99.9% of the debates that I do nowadays, literally nobody gives me rules. Think about that. You have a debate. You are trying to debate formally on a topic of fictional characters, philosophy, whatever it may be, right? And you are trying to debate this and try to have an actual good conversation as everybody claims that they want to have. We want to have a progressive conversation to learn truth values about the moral world or whatever the hell that everybody wants to sit here and try to act like they're Superman or whatever, right? Nobody will give you rules. None. Absolutely none. There's no, I've tried to literally pound it into people and they still refuse to give rules at the beginning of the debates. I just watched a debate with Ichi and Paradox where Paradox probably was whooping his ass for the whole entire debate or whatever, right? I didn't see all of it. I will admit, I didn't see all of it. So Ichi could have been throwing hands or whatever, right? But Paradox doesn't seem like a very big of a slouch, in my opinion. So I think it could go neck and neck. I don't think Ichi is much of a slouch either. But he didn't give any rules. This man left the debate. This man left the debate. that's a concession. Like just a concession on just grounded as a burden of rejoinder. The fact that you are willing to leave a debate mid debate or whatever because you are getting annoyed, that means that you were not able to control your emotions and say that you are emotionally stable to be able to have a conversation about a fictional topic. Like at the end of the day, bro, it just looks bad on you, right? So they won't give you any rules, right? Debate, and then this is the easy part. P2 debate. Since there is no rules, there's genuinely no way to win said debate, right? Well, if there's no rules, right, and there's no preconceived ways to win this debate or whatever, there's no preconceived ways to show that, hey, scaling your character above necessarily means that you win the debate. There's genuinely no way that he can win a debate. In all honesty, this is like something super stupid, but like people will be like, "Oh, this is really dumb." Obviously, intuitively, if you're trying to debate fictional characters, you should be obviously trying to outscale the other character. Not all the time. I don't think that necessarily that you can outscaling necessarily means that you can win a fictional debate. We have meta debating. That's what all like meta debaters do. We have other shit like just winning off points or whatever, right? Like if you're taking like Superman versus Random Joe from fucking whatever, right? And like, let's say we're taking an ant from like Dragon Ball Z, right? Like, if you beat him on every point or whatever, right? Like, it's still a fucking ant at the end of the day or whatever. If you beat him on every meta debate point or whatever, right? Like, do they actually win the debate? And the debate concludes right there. They don't win the debate. So the fact that they have no preconceived notions for why we should handle this debate or how we should be going to handle this debate, you can just argue multiple ways for how to win debates. For example, I'm going to give you a better example of how to win a debate without rules or whatever, right? Sage versus Aeroflame, Rakuzan, like the martial arts debate or whatever, right? I think it was like Batman versus Baki or Yujiro Hanma. So this man Aeroflame, baby rage for 30 minutes because he realized that, hey, martial arts. So when they took the debate, they took martial arts debate, all right? There was nothing else said, just purely martial arts. So AP's still there. Speed is equalized. AP's equalized. No hacks, no durability, just straight technique, right? Well, fun fact, Yujiro Hanma doesn't use any weapons, and Batman does. So, Sage argued that Batman's just gonna pull out a batarang and just start whooping his ass. And it's like, okay, that's pretty funny. Obviously, that's not what he means by martial arts debate, but you didn't specify that. That's on you. So the fact that you didn't have cognitive like awareness that what you're trying to say with your like when you mean by a martial arts debate, that's on you at the end of the day. You didn't give clarification for what you meant. Now, since that's in contention and he starts pulling out weapons, you're fucked. There's nothing you can do about it. He just got hit with batarangs and freaking Aeroflame raged and left the server. He quit debating after that. This is what made him quit debating for a little bit. He left the server because he thought that we rigged it against him. But he actually genuinely just lost because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So that's how also hand-to-hand martial arts started coming into play. Now everybody says hand-to-hand martial arts. Another example of this is like, oh, hey, we're gonna debate. I've debated a couple of people, and I've been like, so, what's the topic or whatever, right? Like, okay, how do you want any rules or so and so forth? And they just tell me like, oh, no over talking or something like that. Super simplistic stuff. Like nothing really egregious. Nobody even does fallacy limits anymore. Thank God. That shit was stupid. But what do? I just argue that, okay, well, no, like there's no VSBW scaling. Why does your character actually scale to that? We're not using VSBW anymore. The tiering system doesn't matter. Why do I have to agree to that tiering system? Why do I have to agree to CSAP? Why do I have to agree to this? Why do I have to agree to that? Can you show that your character is actually doing these feats? Like, can you calc it out for me? Or without using VSBW's random like word jargon or whatever, right? it's so simple to catch people on these simplistic things that are just like super stupid at the end of the day. You like these are stuff that like you're be like, okay, it's intuitive. Like you should be intuitively using like VSBW. You should be intuitively using CSAP or Space Battle Forums. Hopefully Space Battle Forums more than you're using CSAP or VSBW, right? But at the end of the day, if you don't imply that shit, like who cares or whatever, right? You're just gonna win the debate just purely off that. They're not gonna be able to handle that. Then you just ask them for calcs. And guess what? Nobody calcs. I know like 3 calcers in the comm right now. Nobody calcs for real. And half the time, calcing looks stupid. Like, you just have to argue the validity of it or just appeal the reality on that bitch. And motherfuckers are going to get lost in the sauce. Easy. Very simple. Just beat up people. It's on the rules. Profit. All right. This goes a little bit hand in hand with like the rule lawyering. But this is called like the SBA void or whatever, right? It's a little bit more in depth, so you will have to read the SBA, like in the VSBW section, which I know, it sucks. Like, I don't really want to read the VSBW page either. It sucks. The navigation sucks. Everything sucks. I know it's terrible. But most people don't even know what SBA is anymore. People just assume, like, just assume that we're fighting in like a random barren wasteland in like fucking Dragon Ball Z or some stupid ass shit, right? These people don't realize that SBA literally puts their characters in Manhattan, in like Manhattan State Park. You realize there's trees and like wooded areas for that shit, right? Like that shit, like that gives like a lot of credence to like a lot easier stuff or whatever, right? But SBA void, very simple. It's just SBA rule lawyering or whatever, right? This goes for 2 things, all right? Either A, they didn't call out the they wanted to use SBA to begin with in their debate, right? Or B, they used SBA, but their characters literally get negged by SBA or whatever, right? So, boom. What is the easiest way to do this or whatever, right? Is like 1, you just use a character that has passive death hacks, right? I'm talking about like your Aizens, your Hisokas, etc. Characters that have like spiritual pressure or Nen pressure, stuff that literally like you see in the anime or whatever, you see in the manga, like, oh my gosh, if I get any closer to this guy's like Ryatsu or spiritual pressure, or if I get any closer to his Nen, I'm gonna literally die. If you see any of those statements, those characters are good to go. They're good from me. They're damn near top tier in verse, bro. Right? Another thing that you could use this for like Bleach specifically, like, oh, guess what? Nobody can really see any of the Soul Reapers or any of the Hollows, like, except like unless you have like a little bit of spiritual pressure. So guess what? Other characters can't use the spiritual pressure or whatever, right? So like you're invisible now. Your character's invisible. They're just gonna get free attacks off. Boom, done. Right? 2, ask for rules in the debate. They will give none. It's pretty simple. Most people don't give rules. They suck at it or whatever, right? 3, right? Argue that there was a pre-established agreement to use SBA. Then C, profit, right? You can just argue that the Nen death hacks or the spiritual pressure death hacks, whatever you're using, just kills their character and they can't do shit about it. Very simple. I do this to like literally every low tier that I debate, or every person I actually debate for the first time. I do this to them. I literally do this to them. It's literally how I test anybody who's actually good or not. If you don't have a good response to this, guess what? You're just not good. It's very simple, like stupid shit. Another way that you could use like the SBA void or whatever, right? Let's say that they do actually call it SBA, right? Right, but they're using like Demon Slayer or something like that. No, like take note of their character, right? If they start using Muzan from Demon Slayer, right? Pick Escanor. This dude's fucked. You know why this dude's fucked? You're sitting here in Manhattan or whatever, right? And SBA specifically says you're picking a time of day that is both equal and fair and gives both power to both characters or whatever, right? You just used Escanor. At best, you can say that you can argue at like in the evening time or whatever, and which would be full power for Escanor or what, right? With no hindrances or whatever. He'll be a little bit nerfed or whatever, but he'll still be able to use like whatever ability that gives him like full power for a little bit, right? Muzan, guess what? Muzan can't sit in the sun. So he's screwed. He's screwed. There's nothing he can do about that. There's nothing, nada, no. You just now just like literally just force their character to literally die just by the set of the conditions of the battle. They're not going to be able to argue out of that. It's pretty tough to be like, oh yeah, you're losing because SBA is literally saying that this is happening or whatever. Literally just take notes. In SBA, there's time. There's equalization of verses. There's so much other shit, like location. Everything in these in standard battle assumptions can help you win. You can argue standard battle assumptions just straight up beating characters without even arguing the character scaling. Why would you even get into scaling characters if you could just do that? It's super simple, super easy. Nobody can, it's not like super, oh my gosh, I need to know like my philosophy. I need to know that P implies Q, Q implies R inverse to S, S implies P. Like, shut up, bro. Like, that shit's stupid. Just use the stupid shit. Just use this easy shit. The reason why this works as well, because A, it's so simplistic that the judge understands what the hell you're saying. And if you're arguing it correctly and just right enough and have like a little bit of rhetoric, you don't even have to have the best rhetoric in the world to get these arguments off. If you just argue it enough and know what the hell you're saying, the judge is going to agree with you. Because they're screwed. At the standpoint, their hands are tied. Like, you just have to make note. The only thing that you have to make note of is whatever server that you're debating in, check their rules. If they say that SBA is required or is preconceived or like obviously like intuitive, like in every debate, make sure that you catch them on that. Make sure that you're like, we can't debate in the server. Just don't even like argue it or whatever, right? All right, so this is pretty much SBA void, right? Judge abuse, the Gias effect. Now, there's a dude in the comm named Gias. If you know him, you know him. If you don't, you don't. Like, it's, I don't even know if he's very prevalent nowadays. Hopefully not. Like, I don't know. This dude used to just go around and just beat up the judges or whatever, right? Why would you ever debate the person that's better than you when you could just beat up the judge and just force him to say that you won? This is like the best, like, I think that it's pretty ratty, even though all of this is really just rat tactics, but this is like, this is like so underhanded for so many reasons, right? It's so easy. You just pick a judge worse than you. If you lose, debate goon the judge until you win, and then you just profit or whatever, right? Easy. Now, there's a couple ways to do this, right? Boom. If you think that you can beat up the judge and you have the crowd on your side, just do it with everybody there. As soon as that debate gets over and he gives you a conclusion that says that, hey, if you lost, immediately ask him why and just debate goon him down. Like, because A, you're gonna have the crowd calling him a fucking retard. Then you have everybody else calling him, like, besides the fact that you have everybody calling him stupid, you're gonna be calling him stupid in VC. Then you have your opponent who's like gonna be arguing for his life right now and be like, no, man, I gave a response to this. I gave a response to this. No, nigga, no, you didn't. Just say that he didn't. Just say that I said it. It's literally implied. It's an intuitive argument. Hey, if they say that you should have said this, just be like, I thought it was intuitive. I thought it was like something like that would be intuitively there. Like, that's obviously where the argument leads. Obviously, this is what I'm meaning by this. The fact that you even pointed it out shows that it's somewhat intuitive because you thought of it as well. Very simple, very easy. Now, let's say the person that you're debating is just better than you. And let's say that you don't have the crowd on your side or whatever, right? If they're just better than you, boom, pull them up, catch them lacking in a different VC. Catch them lacking in somewhere else. 99 times out of 10 they will fold. Because guess what? If you just start debate gooning them out of nowhere and just start beating up this worst judge or whatever, right? The opponent won't pull up. You got to make sure that your opponent is offline on this Discord, Discord. So just scroll through, check to see if he's online. If he's not online, boom, just go after him. Just hounds to the wolves, bro. Just start wolf packing that dude. Make sure you, like, friendship tech. Have your friends with you. Call it stupid. Obviously, it's intuitive or whatever, right? Have them even timestamp or randomly pull up timestamps that like for bullshit. Like, be like, at 13:28, he said this or whatever, right? He's literally saying what you're trying to say that he didn't say or whatever, right? Do all of that or whatever, and make sure you're recording or OBS recording, and make sure you catch him saying that he flipped judgment, and then you post that bitch in chat and you tag that motherfucker that you were debating, and you say, yeah, he just flipped his judgment, deal with it. Now, is this a dickhead move? Yeah. So it's fucking Discord debating. Who cares? Obviously, this is the easiest way to win or whatever, right? And so, in conclusion, or whatever, unironically, you could probably just beat up a lot of people on this bullshit, and it's funny to do so. Just do it. It's for laughs. Dude, anyone who takes this Discord debate comm shit too seriously, they're cornballs. Like, no hates and Careless or whatever, because I kind of like Careless, because Careless reminds me of, like, back in the day, of people just being, like, debate hounds, and literally just wanting to debate all the time. But it's kind of corny, bro. It's kind of corny when you're sitting here baby raging and leaving servers or whatever, right? After you lose a debate, right? It's super simple. You could just get better too. Like, just start actually scaling. It's so easy to become good in this fictional debate comm. It really is. Like, it's unironically super easy. Just start bullshitting. The fact of the matter is, everybody wants to go to this, like, philosophy route. Like, oh, I want to imply, like, intuitive arguments. I want to say stuff like this or whatever, right? Cut that bullshit out. We've always been debating. There's been debate periods for, like, 5 years where people weren't using philosophy in debating. And they were still... And some of those debaters are still heralded as good today. What do you think about that? Those fuckers weren't learning philosophy. Those fuckers were just using intuitive arguments and just simple arguments to beat up people or rule lawyering, right? Noodles didn't beat Destiny. No, Noodles didn't beat Ask Yourself on literally on veganism based purely on the fact that he was giving good arguments because he was getting dog walked. That man got slammed. He beat Ask Yourself on a technicality. He beat Ask Yourself on a technicality saying, hey, all you said was, all you asked me to do in this debate was to provide an argument. I didn't say it was a good argument. You didn't say it had to be a good argument. Boom, this dude lost. Like, I don't know what else to say. He's a fucking loser. Like, you can sit here and baby rage. They can sit there and baby rage. The fact of the matter is there is ratting, like allowed ratting in debates, bro. People just need to be like, you can catch literally anyone slipping on any of these techniques, bro. Super simple, bro. This is Tig of the Titan. If you use any of these techniques on me, I'm just going to bitch slap you and just rhetoric dominate you. It's not going to work. Sorry, boy. But, and I'm out.